Captain Alex Rivera's heart pounded as he stepped onto the first floating platform in the vast chamber. The air was thick with energy, making each breath feel heavier than the last. Below him, the void seemed endless, a shifting darkness that could swallow him if he fell. Yet something deeper inside urged him forward, a mixture of fear, curiosity, and determination. The alien queen's voice resonated in his mind again, calm and commanding. "Step carefully, human. This trial measures not only your skill but your mind, your spirit, and your heart." Alex swallowed, trying to steady himself. He focused on the next platform, which floated several meters away. It glowed faintly, pulsing as if alive. The leap seemed impossible, yet he trusted his instincts. With a running start, he jumped, landing on the platform with a surprising solidity. The hum beneath his boots vibrated in sync with his heartbeat. "Good," the Queen said silently. "You act without fear, yet you remain aware. That is unusual." As Alex advanced, the platforms began shifting in unpredictable ways. Some rotated, others disappeared and reappeared elsewhere. Each step demanded quick thinking, balance, and careful observation. He realized that brute force would not work here. He had to pay attention, adapt, and anticipate the impossible movements of the platforms. Suddenly, a series of crystalline obstacles rose from the void between platforms. They were sharp, glowing with energy that could easily cut through his suit. Alex paused, examining their pattern. They moved rhythmically, almost like a dance. "Predict the rhythm, human, or falter." The Queen's voice filled his mind. Alex studied the obstacles, counting the beats in his head. He waited for the perfect moment, then sprinted and leapt. His timing was exact. The crystals swished past him and he landed safely on the next platform. A surge of confidence ran through him, but he knew better than to relax. As he continued, the chamber shifted again. The platforms now formed a maze of glowing paths, each leading to different challenges. Some paths seemed to end in solid walls. Others spiraled upward into the glowing ceiling. Alex realized that this was more than a test of agility. It was a test of judgment and decision-making. A voice echoed in his mind, softer this time. "You will face choices, human. Each choice reflects who you are." Alex paused at a split in the path. One route led through a narrow corridor lined with pulsating crystals that seemed dangerous but short. The other was a longer, wider path, safer but uncertain. His instincts told him to take the shorter path. It required courage and precision. He stepped forward, carefully navigating the corridor. The crystals pulsed violently at first, but as he moved, they seemed to recognize his presence, adjusting to allow him safe passage. It was as if the environment itself was alive, responding to his awareness and caution. Finally, he reached a platform that hovered above a deep chasm. Floating lights formed a sequence of shapes in the air, a puzzle. Alex studied the pattern. Each shape glowed in a specific order, and he sensed that stepping on the wrong light could trigger some danger. "This is a test of logic and perception," he muttered to himself. He reached out, touching the first glowing shape. A soft vibration confirmed his choice. Carefully, he followed the sequence, moving from one light to the next. When he reached the final shape, the platform beneath him expanded into a solid landing space. The Queen's voice resonated in his mind again, almost proud. "You are precise, human. You observe, adapt, and calculate. Yet there is more to your kind than thought alone." Alex exhaled, sweat forming under his helmet. "More, meaning?" he asked aloud. "You will understand soon. A human is measured not only by intellect but by heart." Before he could process her words, the air shimmered around him. Shapes formed. Visions of worlds and civilizations he had never seen. He saw planets with oceans of liquid silver, cities made of light, and beings of unimaginable forms. The images flashed rapidly, and Alex realized the Queen was showing him glimpses of her species' history. "You see what we have seen, human. Our triumphs, our failures. Your kind is new, yet your actions carry weight far beyond your understanding." Alex's mind reeled. "Wait, how? We are just humans. We barely survive in space, let alone the galaxy. And that is why we watch. Your potential is unique. Humans can adapt, survive, and make moral choices even when the odds are against them. Few species can do that." Alex felt a strange mix of pride and doubt. He had always believed humans were capable, but hearing it from an advanced alien being made it real. Yet he knew he had to continue proving himself, not just to the Queen, but to himself. The chamber shifted once more, revealing a new challenge. Now 3 paths floated before him, each guarded by a strange alien sentinel. The creatures were tall, crystalline, and moved with incredible speed. They didn't speak, but their eyes, glowing orbs of light, seemed to scan Alex's thoughts and intentions. The Queen's voice guided him, calm but insistent. Choose wisely, human. Action and intention define your nature. Alex considered each path. One was filled with obstacles but seemed direct. The second appeared safer but longer. The third was dark with unknown dangers. He took a deep breath and chose the path that challenged him the most. If this trial measured humans, he had to show courage, not fear. The sentinel before him lunged. Alex dodged, rolling across the platform. The creature's movement was precise, but Alex's unpredictability, his human intuition, allowed him to avoid being struck. He realized that the Queen wanted to see how humans think differently, not faster, not stronger, but creatively. As he moved forward, he encountered a gap too wide to jump, with the void below threatening to consume him. There were no platforms to land on, only a strange glowing force field that pulsed in waves. Alex hesitated, then remembered a principle humans often used: observation and experimentation. He touched the force field with his hand. It shimmered, then solidified enough to step on. He took a careful step, then another, using his body weight to stabilize the energy. Slowly, he crossed the gap. The Queen's voice filled his mind again. Ingenuity, human. Humans can solve problems differently than others. That is your gift. Exhausted but determined, Alex continued through the chamber. Hours, or what felt like hours, passed as he navigated the ever-changing platforms, the glowing puzzles, and the observing sentinels. Each success reinforced a strange connection he felt with the planet, as if it were responding to his choices and character. Finally, he reached a platform at the center of the chamber. A glowing pedestal rose from the surface, projecting a holographic sphere. The sphere displayed dozens of stars, planets, and civilizations, each connected by glowing lines. Alex realized it was a map of interstellar civilizations, many unknown to humanity. You have reached the first stage, human, the Queen said, stepping beside him. Her form shimmered, reflecting the holographic light. You have demonstrated courage, ingenuity, and observation. Yet the final measure is still ahead. Your heart? Alex looked at her, confused. My heart? What do you mean? The Queen's eyes softened. A human's intellect and skill are remarkable, but your species is defined by your choices under pressure, your empathy, your morality. This is what I must test next. Alex's chest tightened. He had faced danger, puzzles, and even potential death, but now the trial felt deeper, more personal. He realized this was not just about survival. It was about proving what humans were truly capable of. The Queen's voice grew distant as the chamber shifted again. Platforms dissolved, leaving a wide open space above a glowing abyss. At the far end, a doorway pulsed with light. It seemed impossible to reach. Yet Alex felt an inner certainty that he had to continue. With one final deep breath, he stepped forward. Every step made the air hum around him. The chamber seemed alive, almost acknowledging his persistence. He was not just a visitor or an intruder. He was a participant in a trial designed to measure the very essence of his species. And somewhere, in the silent observation of the alien Queen, the future of humans in this part of the galaxy was being measured, not by weapons or strength, or technology, but by human ingenuity, courage, and heart. Alex took another step toward the glowing doorway, unaware of what awaited him beyond. The only certainty was that his choices would define more than his fate. They might define humanity's place among the stars. Captain Alex Rivera stood at the edge of the glowing doorway, his boots barely touching the surface of the final platform. Beyond the portal, the space stretched into a vast chamber, illuminated by a soft golden light that seemed to radiate from everywhere at once. The air hummed with energy, and the floor beneath him pulsed gently like the heartbeat of some immense creature. The alien Queen appeared beside him, her form glowing softly in the golden light. She did not speak aloud. Instead, her words echoed directly in Alex's mind, calm, measured, and powerful. This is the true test, human. Beyond this doorway lies something your species has never encountered. You will be presented with a choice. Your decision will show not your strength, but your wisdom, your morality, and your trust. Alex's stomach tightened. He had faced puzzles, traps, and challenges of physical skill and intellect, but now the Queen was speaking of morality and trust. He had no idea what awaited him beyond the doorway. I understand, Alex said cautiously. I'll do my best. Your best is enough. Few humans ever reach this point. Few species would even attempt it. Taking a deep breath, Alex stepped through the doorway. The golden light enveloped him, warm but blinding. When his eyes adjusted, he found himself in a room that defied comprehension. Floating before him was a massive sphere, glowing softly with shifting colors. It hovered above a pedestal, seemingly weightless. Alex stepped closer. As he did, the sphere projected images into the air around him. Entire civilizations, planets, and fleets of ships, moving and interacting in complex ways. It was as if he could see the entire balance of a galaxy laid out before him. The Queen's voice resonated once more. This is a gift, human. Within this sphere is knowledge and power. You may take it and it could elevate your species beyond all imagination, or you may leave it, respecting the natural order. Your choice must be deliberate, for it carries consequences. Alex's mind raced. He knew immediately that this was a moment no human had ever faced. The knowledge and technology before him could change humanity's future. Wars could be prevented, illnesses could be cured, planets could be colonized, yet something inside him hesitated. This is incredible, he whispered. I could bring so much to humanity. But is it right? The Queen's gaze softened, though her presence remained overwhelming. Right and wrong are not universal. Each species defines them. What matters is your choice, human. How will you act when you are offered power beyond understanding? Alex walked slowly around the sphere, studying it from every angle. He could feel its energy almost as if it were alive, responding to his thoughts and intentions. He closed his eyes for a moment, thinking of Earth, of the people who had trusted him to explore the stars, of the fragility of life, and the dangers of using such power carelessly. Then a thought struck him. Maybe this isn't just about power. Maybe this is about trust. Trust? The Queen asked silently. Yes, Alex replied, his voice steadying. Trust. You've been watching humans for centuries. You know we can survive, adapt, and think. But can we choose wisely? Can we act without greed, without selfishness? The Queen observed him, her glowing eyes unwavering. Indeed, humans are known for choice even when survival is at stake. Yet few can resist temptation when the stakes are so high. Alex's mind flickered to the possible futures. Taking the sphere would grant humanity immediate power, but it might also bring conflict, corruption, and unintended consequences. Leaving it untouched would preserve balance, but could mean sacrificing opportunity. After long moments, he made his decision. He stepped back from the sphere and placed his hand on his chest. I will not take it, he said. I cannot. Humanity must grow on its own. We must learn, struggle, and achieve, not rely on power that is not ours to claim. For the first time, the Queen smiled. A gentle curve of her glowing lips, subtle but unmistakable. Remarkable. Few humans would choose restraint over opportunity. You have shown wisdom, courage, and moral strength. You are worthy. Alex exhaled, relief washing over him. The tension in his body eased, but he remained cautious. Worthy of what? He asked. The Queen's eyes brightened. Of trust, human. Trust that your species may play a larger role in the cosmos. Trust that your choices, when guided by morality and courage, can influence events far beyond your understanding. Suddenly, a wave of energy swept through the chamber, images of distant galaxies spinning and swirling. Alex staggered slightly, caught off guard. The Queen's voice remained calm. You have passed the first true moral test. Now humanity's next trial approaches, not against puzzles or machines, but against circumstance itself. Before Alex could ask what she meant, the chamber shook violently. The golden light dimmed as a shadow spread across the walls. Outside, through a transparent section of the chamber, Alex saw it, a fleet of alien ships, dark and ominous, descending upon the Queen's world. Their intent was clear. They were hostile. Alex's pulse quickened. What is that? He asked aloud. The Queen's voice, calm and commanding, filled his mind. A threat, one that tests not only your judgment but your courage and your ability to lead. He glanced at the sphere, at the knowledge and power he had just refused. Suddenly, the stakes of his decision became clear. Choosing restraint had not removed danger. It had only placed him in the Queen's world in immediate peril. Alex's mind raced. He had trained for battles in space, but nothing had prepared him for leading alien forces in a fight to protect a civilization unlike his own. Yet there was no hesitation in his heart. He had made his choice. Now he would act on it. Human, will you rise to the challenge? The Queen asked. Yes, Alex said firmly. I will do whatever it takes to protect this world. I won't fail, the Queen's eyes shimmered. Then show me. Show me what humanity can do when courage, intellect, and morality are combined. With that, Alex moved toward the chamber exit. The fleet was closing in, dark silhouettes against the glowing sky. He had no weapons of his own, but he had strategy, ingenuity, and human unpredictability, qualities the Queen had observed in him since he first arrived. Using the chamber's energy field, Alex manipulated the floating platforms and energy currents to create defensive positions. He directed the local alien defenders, demonstrating tactics humans often relied upon: improvisation, deception, and adaptive thinking. The alien ships attacked, but Alex's strategies were unpredictable. He led ambushes from above, created traps using energy currents, and coordinated strikes that the invaders could not anticipate. Each move reflected not only his training but his instincts and creativity, qualities that no machine or alien could fully predict. The Queen watched silently, her form glowing brighter with each successful maneuver. Humans, remarkable. You teach even those who are ancient and wise. Hours, or what felt like hours, passed. The invaders began to falter, unable to overcome the combination of human ingenuity and the aliens' cooperation. Alex led a final maneuver, drawing the enemy into a controlled trap that neutralized the fleet without unnecessary destruction. When the last ship fell, silence returned to the skies above SCIFI-Prime. Alex breathed heavily, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced moral choice, physical danger, and strategic challenges, and he had survived. The Queen approached him. You have proven more than I anticipated, human. Your species is capable of courage, wisdom, and cooperation that rivals even the oldest civilizations. Alex nodded, still catching his breath. I just did what I thought was right. And that is precisely what defines humanity. Not power, not speed, not technology, but the choices you make, the courage you show, and the morality you hold even under pressure. You are exceptional. For the first time, Alex felt truly seen, not just as an explorer but as a representative of his species. The alien Queen's recognition was not just for him, but for all of humanity. As the sun, or what passed for a sun on this world, glowed in the distance, Alex looked out over the alien landscape. He realized that humans had a role far greater than survival. They had the capacity to influence the galaxy, not through domination but through courage, morality, and ingenuity. And somewhere deep within the glowing depths of SCIFI-Prime, the alien Queen watched, her curiosity and respect for humanity growing. The sky above SCIFI-Prime burned with light as the remnants of the hostile fleet retreated into the dark void. Captain Alex Rivera's chest heaved from exertion, but there was no time to rest. The alien Queen appeared beside him, her glow steady and commanding. Human, the danger is not over. The fleet you saw was only a scout. A greater threat approaches. Alex's stomach tightened. He had barely survived the first wave, but now a larger challenge loomed.
How much bigger are we talking?
He asked, trying to steady his voice. Beyond your current understanding. But your species has qualities that may yet turn the tide. Courage, ingenuity, and adaptability. Alex nodded. He had already demonstrated those qualities, but this would be different. This was no puzzle or test, it was a battle for the planet itself, and perhaps more than that. The alien Queen led him to a high platform overlooking the entire city of SCIFI-Prime. The buildings were luminous spires, powered by energy he could only describe as alive. He noticed alien defenders preparing for the next attack. Soldiers made of crystalline forms moving gracefully yet efficiently. Observe them, human. Their strength is impressive, but they lack unpredictability. That is where you excel. Alex studied the defenders, noting their movements, their formations, and the way they coordinated. So you want me to teach them? Guide them? Not teach. Collaborate. Humanity's gift is the ability to innovate under pressure, to think differently. Combine your minds with theirs and you may succeed. Alex swallowed. He had no weapons, no fleet of his own, just his mind, his instincts, and his experience. But he had faced danger before, and he had never turned away from a challenge. "All right," he said. "Let's do this." Over the next hour, Alex moved among the alien forces, instructing them in strategies they had never used. He taught them ambush techniques, ways to use the environment as cover, and traps that relied on timing and observation rather than brute strength. At first, the aliens were hesitant, skeptical of his methods, but when Alex demonstrated, showing how they could turn the enemy's own attacks against them, their hesitation vanished. The next wave arrived sooner than expected. A massive fleet of hostile ships descended, their dark hulls blotting out the shimmering sky. Alex could see dozens of soldiers preparing for combat, energy weapons glowing and platforms vibrating under their feet. "Remember," he shouted, using the chamber's energy to amplify his voice. "Observe, anticipate, and act together. Don't rely only on strength, think, adapt, and surprise them." The battle began with a roar. Alien ships fired, energy beams slicing through the sky. Alex led the defenders into a series of ambushes, using floating platforms as pivot points and directing energy currents to disorient the attackers. His strategies were unconventional, unpredictable even to the Queen, and they worked. The alien defenders moved with a new precision, following Alex's guidance while also trusting their instincts. The combination of human ingenuity and alien capability created a synergy the invaders could not counter. During the fight, Alex noticed a squadron attempting to flank from above. He quickly redirected a group of crystalline defenders, guiding them to cut off the flank. At the same time, he manipulated energy currents to create temporary barriers, slowing the enemy's advance. "Human, remarkable," the Queen's voice said in his mind. "You adapt as fluidly as the currents themselves. Your species is exceptional." Alex barely had time to respond. More ships were arriving, and he realized this was no longer a battle of strength. It was a test of coordination, creativity, and leadership under pressure. He quickly assessed the battlefield. There were weak points in the enemy formation, ships that could be isolated and neutralized if they acted together. Using energy currents to redirect enemy fire, Alex guided a group of defenders to exploit those weaknesses. One by one, enemy ships were disabled, either captured or destroyed. The Queen watched silently, her presence calm and unwavering. She allowed Alex to make decisions, intervene directly, and even take risks. Every choice he made demonstrated the qualities that had drawn her attention in the first place. Then, a massive enemy ship broke through their defenses. It moved with speed and precision that dwarfed the others, its weapons capable of obliterating entire platforms. Alex felt a pang of fear, but he refused to falter. "Focus," he muttered to himself. "Think. Don't react, anticipate." He studied the ship's movements, noticing a pattern in its attacks. With a quick adjustment, he guided a group of defenders into a trap using the enemy's speed against it. The ship was caught in a concentrated energy field, unable to maneuver, and the combined force of alien defenders and energy currents finally disabled it. Alex exhaled, relief washing over him. The fleet had been neutralized, the immediate threat eliminated, but he knew this was only the beginning. The Queen approached him, her glow brighter than before. "You have done what few could. Humans are capable of influencing events far beyond their home world. Your courage, wisdom, and ability to act under pressure are exceptional." Alex shook his head, still catching his breath. I just did what I thought was necessary. I couldn't let them win. I couldn't fail. And that is precisely why your species is rare, human. Few others would act with such resolve, combining intellect and morality in equal measure." He looked out over the city. The alien defenders moved efficiently, but now there was a new bond between them and him, a trust forged in the heat of battle. He realized that humans had something the galaxy could not ignore: the ability to adapt, lead, and inspire even beings unlike themselves. Suddenly, a signal reached the chamber. The Queen's eyes shimmered. "The enemy fleet sends a warning. They speak of a force greater than any you have faced, a threat approaching the galaxy itself." Alex's pulse quickened. This was bigger than any single planet or civilization. The stakes were no longer local, they were cosmic. "Then we need to be ready," Alex said, determination sharpening his tone. "We've shown them what we can do. Now we prepare for what's coming." The Queen nodded. "Indeed. But remember, human, you have demonstrated not just strength, but the qualities that matter most: ingenuity, courage, and morality. Your kind has the potential to guide many species through what is to come. Alex felt a strange sense of pride, not for himself, but for all of humanity. For the first time, he truly understood the reason the Queen had been observing humans for centuries. They were more than survivors. They were capable of shaping the galaxy's future. As he looked at the horizon, the last of the enemy ships retreating into the void, Alex knew this was only the beginning. Greater challenges awaited, but humans with their creativity, morality, and courage could face them. They could rise above impossible odds, even in a galaxy filled with ancient, powerful civilizations. The Queen spoke again, her voice gentle now. You have passed trials that would have defeated many. Your species has potential far beyond what they realize. The galaxy will take notice of humans, and you, Captain Alex Rivera, will be remembered for your role in shaping this moment. Alex nodded, humbled but resolute. He had survived tests of intellect, morality, and courage, and now he had proven that humans could stand alongside the oldest and most advanced civilizations. He turned toward the city, toward the alien defenders who now looked to him with respect and trust. The weight of responsibility settled on his shoulders, but it was not crushing, it was empowering. Humans had a place in the galaxy, not just as explorers or survivors, but as leaders, thinkers, and moral agents capable of extraordinary deeds. And Alex, standing beside the alien Queen, understood that this was just the beginning of humanity's journey. The golden light of SCIFI-Prime's skies shimmered above, and for the first time, Alex felt a connection to the stars that went beyond curiosity or duty. He felt purpose, a role not just for himself, but for all of humanity in a universe filled with wonder, danger, and possibility. And somewhere, in the quiet observation of the alien Queen, a new bond was forming, a bond of respect, trust, and recognition of what humans could truly achieve. Captain Alex Rivera stood at the highest platform of SCIFI-Prime, gazing out at the horizon. The last remnants of the enemy fleet had vanished into the void, but the warning they had sent lingered in his mind, a far greater threat approaching the galaxy, far beyond anything humanity had faced. The alien Queen appeared beside him, her form radiant, her presence calm yet commanding. The warning is true, human. What approaches is a force unlike any other, a danger that could consume entire systems. Your species has the potential to make a difference. Will you act? Alex tightened his fists. Yes, he said firmly. I've seen what humans can do. I've seen what we can inspire in others. I'll do whatever it takes. The Queen's eyes glimmered. Then we begin. This is not just your challenge, Captain Alex Rivera. This is the beginning of a collaboration between your species and mine. Together, we may influence the fate of the galaxy. The golden energy of SCIFI-Prime pulsed beneath their feet as the Queen led Alex to a central chamber. Here, representatives of her species waited. Elders, strategists, and warriors, their forms glowing in various shades of crystal and light. All eyes turned to Alex, the human who had survived the trials and proven his courage, morality, and ingenuity. Human, the Queen said, addressing him before her people. You have demonstrated qualities rare in the galaxy, qualities that may determine whether life continues beyond this planet. Speak and share your thoughts with them. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility. We've faced challenges together already. Humans, like your people, are capable of thinking creatively, acting morally, and adapting to situations that seem impossible. I know we're young compared to your species, but if we combine our knowledge and skills, we can face this threat. Together we can protect not just this world, but the galaxy itself. The alien elders whispered among themselves. The Queen's gaze remained on Alex, her expression unreadable. Then slowly she nodded. He speaks truth. Human ingenuity, courage, and morality complement our wisdom and power. We will act together. Alex's heart lifted. For the first time, he realized that humans were more than explorers, more than survivors. They were capable of becoming galactic partners, allies, and leaders. The Queen turned toward a holographic map of the galaxy, showing the approaching threat, a massive swarm of ships, dark and fast-moving, stretching across multiple systems. This force moves quickly. They consume everything in their path, leaving nothing behind. Our combined civilizations must prepare and respond efficiently. Alex studied the map. We'll need to coordinate defenses, share technology, and create strategies that rely on both our strengths. We can't just fight. We have to think creatively, use tactics they won't expect. Exactly. That is why you are essential, human. Your species does not always follow predictable patterns. You act with imagination and morality, not only strength. Over the next hours, Alex worked alongside the Queen and her advisors, devising a strategy that integrated human adaptability and alien technology. They set up defensive grids around key planets, trained combined teams to respond to attacks, and designed contingency plans for every possible scenario. Alex was in his element. Humans thrived under pressure, thinking on their feet, adjusting strategies as new threats emerged. The alien forces, though powerful, had rarely needed to improvise. Watching them adapt under Alex's guidance was both impressive and encouraging. When the first wave of the new threat arrived, Alex was ready. The massive swarm moved with terrifying speed, yet humans and aliens worked in perfect coordination. Alex directed defenders to exploit weaknesses in the swarm's formation, using energy currents and floating platforms as defensive and offensive tools. The battle was fierce. Energy beams sliced through space, ships twisted and turned in impossible maneuvers, and the sky above SciFi-Prime glowed with light from explosions and shields. Yet Alex's presence made a difference. His unpredictable tactics, rapid decision-making, and ability to inspire cooperation turned the tide of the battle. The Queen observed silently, but approvingly. Humans act with courage, yet temper it with morality. They lead without dominance, inspire without fear. Alex realized that this was more than just defense. He was witnessing the strength of an alliance, the way two very different civilizations could work together for a common goal. Every time a human tactic succeeded, alien defenders adapted, learning and improving. Every time an alien strategy seemed impossible, humans found a way to make it work. Hours passed. The swarm's attacks became more desperate as their numbers dwindled. Alex coordinated a final maneuver, directing forces to lure the enemy into a massive energy trap created by the Queen's species. The trap activated, swirling energy capturing the remaining ships, neutralizing the threat without unnecessary destruction. The galaxy fell silent. For a moment, Alex could hear only his own breathing, the hum of energy beneath him and the distant glow of SciFi-Prime. The Queen appeared before him, her glow brighter than ever. You have done more than survive, human. You have demonstrated that your species can influence outcomes that no one else could. You have combined courage, intellect, and morality to protect countless lives. Alex felt a swell of pride, tempered with humility. I couldn't have done it alone. Humans, your people, the combined efforts. This victory belongs to everyone, indeed, and that is the true lesson, human. Strength alone is not enough. Cooperation, trust, and understanding are what allow civilizations to endure and thrive. Your species embodies these qualities in a way that is rare, even among the oldest civilizations. Alex looked up at the stars, reflecting on how far humans had come, from a small planet struggling to survive, to standing shoulder to shoulder with an ancient alien species to protect the galaxy. He thought of Earth, of the explorers, scientists, and dreamers who had made humanity reach this point. They were not alone, not anymore. The Queen's voice softened, almost gentle. Captain Alex Rivera, you have proven that humans are worthy of trust, partnership, and respect. You are not alone, and perhaps you never were meant to be. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of connection he had never known. Humans had always looked to the stars with curiosity and hope, and now they had a place among them, not as invaders or conquerors, but as allies, thinkers, and moral agents capable of shaping the galaxy. Then we move forward, he said, determination in his voice. We prepare for whatever comes next, together. Humans will not stand idle. We will learn, adapt, and act alongside our allies. The Queen inclined her head, as it should be. Together we will face challenges that no one species could overcome alone. Your species has proven it is ready, human, ready to take its place among the stars. For the first time, Alex felt a deep sense of purpose that went beyond exploration, beyond survival, beyond duty. Humans were capable of shaping the future of countless worlds. Their courage, morality, and ingenuity were not just traits, they were a gift to the galaxy itself. As he looked out over SciFi-Prime, the glow of the planet reflecting in his eyes, Alex knew this was only the beginning. Greater challenges would come, but humans had proven they could rise above fear, adapt to impossible situations, and inspire others to act with courage and morality. The Queen's presence beside him was a silent reminder of what had been achieved and of what was still possible. Together, human and alien, they would face the universe's trials, not with domination or fear, but with intelligence, morality, and heart. And somewhere, deep in the glowing energy of SCIFI-Prime, the galaxy itself seemed to recognize the arrival of a new force, humans. Standing tall among the stars, ready to make a difference, Alex Rivera took a deep breath. The adventure was far from over, but for the first time he understood humanity's true power, the ability to choose courage over fear, morality over selfishness, and cooperation over chaos. He smiled. The stars were no longer distant points of light. They were a stage, and humanity had a role to play. The alien queen looked at him, her eyes reflecting the glow of countless stars. "You are ready, human." "The galaxy awaits," Alex nodded, "and humans will rise to the challenge." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of danger, wonder, and opportunity. And for the first time, Alex felt that humanity was not just part of the universe. They were a force capable of shaping it. The journey had only begun, but humans had already proven themselves. The galaxy would never be the same. Ethan Vale had spent the last 4 weeks drifting through the uncharted sector of the Viridian Expanse, alone. His ship, the Horizon, was small, functional, and far from the comforts of home. Sensors beeped quietly, mapping stars and planets that were unknown to any human chart. The vastness of space was overwhelming, dark, silent, and infinite. And yet even in that emptiness, Ethan felt alive. He was human, and humans thrived where others feared. It had started as a simple exploration mission. Humanity's expansion into nearby star systems had uncovered strange anomalies, and Ethan's role was to document anything unusual. He had faced hostile asteroids, electrical storms in space, and rogue comets before, but nothing prepared him for what he found drifting beyond the edge of the mapped galaxy. The first sign was a faint pulse, a heartbeat of energy that didn't match any known star or nebula. At first he thought it was a sensor glitch, but as he adjusted his instruments, the signal strengthened. It was deliberate. It was intelligent. Someone, or something, was trying to be found. Curiosity, the core of human nature, took over. Ethan maneuvered the Horizon toward the source, the pulse growing stronger with every kilometer. Soon he was approaching a massive alien structure hovering above a dead gray planet. Its surface shimmered, transparent towers rising like liquid crystal. The shape shifted subtly, almost breathing as if alive. Ethan's heart raced. He had encountered alien architecture before, but this was beyond imagination. There were no angles, no familiar geometry, only smooth, flowing lines that seemed impossible yet beautiful. A strange hum vibrated through his ship. He felt it in his bones, a resonance that whispered directly into his mind. The docking process was tense. The Horizon was a small vessel, and the structure was enormous, much larger than any human shipyard. Automated systems on the alien station guided him with precision. Yet Ethan could sense a hidden awareness in the process. The hum grew louder as the airlock opened. The first step outside the Horizon was disorienting. The floor beneath him was solid yet seemed to ripple. Light moved in strange patterns across the walls, creating illusions of depth and motion. Then he saw her. She appeared before him without warning. Her form was elegant and alien, tall, slender, with glowing eyes that shifted colors like the auroras on Earth. Her presence was overwhelming. She did not walk. She floated, moving effortlessly across the shimmering surface. And then she spoke. "Alone, human?" Her voice was not sound. It was thought, clear and melodic, echoing in Ethan's mind. He froze. Every instinct told him to flee, but curiosity anchored him in place. He realized she had never encountered a human alone in this sector before. I am alone," Ethan answered cautiously, his voice small against the hum of the structure. She tilted her head, studying him. Her eyes, vast, deep, and infinitely intelligent, seemed to peer into every corner of his mind. "Interesting," she whispered, though the word was more a feeling than a sound. "You are fragile, yet unafraid." Ethan's skin tingled. He had read about alien telepathy in old human records, but experiencing it was unlike anything he could imagine. The Queen's awareness enveloped him, examining, weighing, judging. Yet there was curiosity too, a hunger for something rare. "You are human?" she asked again, as if confirming. Yes, Ethan said. Ethan Vale, explorer, from Earth. The alien, Ethan assumed she was a queen, for the aura of authority was undeniable, studied him for a long moment. Alone human. And yet you survived, that is unusual. Ethan swallowed hard. I've survived worse. She did not respond immediately. Instead, the walls shifted and new paths appeared. Come, we will see what you carry within. He followed, cautious yet compelled. Every step echoed in the vast hall, yet there was no sound, only the soft shimmer of light underfoot. The structure seemed alive, reacting to his presence, guiding him toward unknown challenges. Soon he entered a large chamber filled with floating geometric forms. Shapes rotated, morphed, and shifted in impossible angles. Ethan felt a faint pull at his mind, like the room itself was aware of him. This was a test, he could feel it instinctively. The first puzzle appeared, a floating cube glowing softly. Lines traced across its surface, forming shifting patterns. Ethan instinctively studied the cube, moving closer, touching the air as if to feel the energy. The cube responded, lines rearranging with each gesture, each thought. Time seemed irrelevant. Hours may have passed, or only minutes. Ethan solved the puzzle not through brute force but through observation and persistence. When the cube settled into a stable form, a door appeared in the chamber wall. The Queen's presence returned fully. You think like a human, she said. Logical, but not without heart. That is rare. Ethan felt pride tinged with unease. He had passed the first trial, but the challenge had just begun. Next came a chamber filled with synthetic life forms, fragile beings created of light and energy. The environment began to collapse suddenly, pillars of light flickering and destabilizing. Panic surged, yet Ethan did not hesitate. He moved carefully, rescuing each life form before the room destabilized completely. Why help them? The Queen asked, her presence observing. Because it's the right thing to do, Ethan replied. No one deserves to be abandoned. Her eyes narrowed thoughtfully. Strength is common. Heart is rare. Ethan did not know whether to feel pride or fear. This alien being had seen countless species, most stronger than humans in every measurable way, yet none had shown the combination of courage, intelligence, and compassion that he displayed. As he passed through the chamber, the walls shifted into a tunnel of light. The Queen led him silently, her form gliding gracefully beside him. Ethan noticed carvings and patterns on the walls, stories of civilizations, heroes, and failures. Some species had tried to dominate, some had lied, and some had perished. Humans were an anomaly, fragile, adaptable, unpredictable. Finally, they arrived in a room filled with vast screens showing star systems he had never known existed. These are the worlds I have watched, the Queen said. Many have failed. Many have not understood, and yet here you are, alone, human, yet alive. Ethan looked at the screens, awed. He felt small, insignificant, yet capable of something extraordinary. The vastness of space, the power of the Queen, and the unknown trials ahead were daunting. But he was human, and humans had a way of surviving against impossible odds. The Queen's whisper returned, soft and compelling. You are alone, but not lost. There is a spark in you that is different. You may yet prove what your kind can achieve. Ethan nodded, though she could sense his thoughts even without words. I will do whatever it takes, he said. She paused, her eyes locking with his. We shall see, human. We shall see. For the first time in weeks, Ethan felt a mixture of fear and exhilaration. Alone in this alien structure, facing an entity far beyond human comprehension, he realized one thing. Survival would demand everything he had. And more. But he was human. That, perhaps, was enough. The chamber faded around him and the Queen's form shimmered, dissolving into light that pulsed with life. Ethan took a deep breath, ready to face the unknown. He knew that whatever lay ahead, he would meet it with courage, wit, and the stubborn resilience that had defined humanity since the first humans looked up at the stars. The first trial was over, but the journey had only just begun.